This is a winter practice, Heliotropia Qi water element. And the water forms remind us to find the most gentle path to follow in life. Water finds its way. It is an elemental force that represents winter, but it also reminds us of the fluidity within our own body. We are 70% water, and we are always changing, always moving like water does. Opening the Qi gates here, invite you to do this in whatever ways help you to feel that you're creating a time and a space to do some inner work. We can open in great big wide circles. We're actually opening the body here, the first and most precious home we have. We can do this very slowly if we like. Take several breaths. Generally, we will breathe in on the way up, and we will exhale as our hands move down the torso, down the body, the Tai Chi axis. From here, I'm going to create a wider stance and just begin to imagine flowing water. And perhaps we can even imagine here, as our feet are firmly planted, that we are standing in the water. But that may not work for everyone. But the water is flowing, and I'm just allowing my arms to represent the surface of the water. The palms are skimming along the water's surface. And I'm feeling, using our incredible imaginations that we have, I'm feeling all the sensory qualities of water. The temperature, the touch, the way in which it allows to flow and wrap around our hands as we place them. Just here I'm imagining a lake in front of me, and I'm making circles, feeling the water beneath the palms. And be playful here. We can change the quality of these circles. We can do them at the same time. We can do one, then the other. We can create a circle that begins and then the other arm begins before that circle returns. This is playful. Qi Gong has a very playful side to it, and just allows us to move the body in the ways in which it feels most at home. It is our first and most precious home. I love to remind myself of that. I can also think here about the pelvic Qi region, and just allow that to be filled with water. And just sinking here into Wuji, nothing purpose, filling the Qi, dropping the tailbone, and allowing the body to feel very calm and relaxed. I'm going to move to the meridian lines, or the rivers in our body, the river lines within the body, and I'm particularly focusing here on the water organs, the bladder and the kidneys, massaging them here, giving them the love that they deserve, and then tracing down the backs of the legs across the feet and up to the lower dantian, the lower abdomen, and returning again. As our hands move across the body, just apply the pressure that you want and need. This is self-massage. It's an important part of Qi Gong, to be able to lay our own hands on the body and nurture it through the sense of touch. As I trace around my feet, I'm really finding that instep. On the way up, I'm exhaling all the way down, breathing in here and coming all the way up. And then rising to the sky and radiating down. And so we're tracing the river lines within our body. For today, we're focusing on those water meridians. The water forms can help us to gradually soften and dissolve the inflexible parts within us. This beautiful form is called touching the waterfall. As if I'm sitting down on a chair behind me, I lower the body while the hands are running through a beautiful waterfall in front of me here. My gaze is ahead. And then as the hands rise up, I love to imagine, and it's on an inhalation here, that the water is dripping from each finger. The chair is behind me, not really, but that's the way I'm going to lower the body, as if there is a chair there. The waterfall is in front of me. The fingers dance in the flow and then rise up with water dripping from each fingertip. And then I come back into nothing purpose, Wuji. So we've touched the waterfall. We're now going to just take a moment here in Bamboo in the Wind and prepare to do a beautiful water form that is from one of my favourite teachers, Mimi Qualdima. And we're lifting the water here, allowing it to cascade through every cell of the body. Arms float up on the in-breath. We come back to center. We inhale again and go to the other side. Arms float up. Exhale down. We collect the water. We bring it up with straight arms. Exhale down through the body, all the way down to the balls of our feet. Inhale back to center. Many of Mimi's forms have this lovely symmetry about them, where we begin in Bamboo in the Wind, and then on the inhale we step to one side, complete the form, then we step to the other side. Remembering here that each time we travel down, we exhale down with very soft knees and we inhale up. This just allows a flow and a fluidity in the body and aligning it with our breath. You might visualize the sensation of the waterfall cascading through the body. When you're ready, we return to Bamboo in the Wind. A very foundational form of Qi Gong. And you might even take a moment to imagine the water travelling up through the bamboo stalk. Going to move on the angle of my Qi mat now, something we call bow stance, and take a moment to find my balance and then lean forward with palms down, exhale back to open up this massive sky. This form is called scooping the sea, viewing the sky. I go down to scoop the sea, turn over the palms and view the sky. This is part of an 18 form Shabasha routine, and it's one of the water forms in that 18 form sequence. And whenever you're ready, I invite you to go to the other side. There is no need to keep a strong count going. Your body will tell you when it's ready to move to the other side. In viewing the sky, that's a big exhalation here, and then the inhalation comes as I come down and then exhale to view the sky. I inhale before I move the body down. Inhale up, exhale as I widen my arms. In scooping sea to view sky, it can be a beautiful form to find a clearer mindset around something. And in fact, all the water forms, I believe, are great for this, or they certainly are for me. They allow me to be less rigid, less rock-like, and more fluid, more water-like. The next form is called playing with waves. It also comes from this 18 form series, Shabasha. And I'm exhaling, pushing the wave away, inhaling, bringing the wave towards me. And just find your own beautiful rhythm here. I love to imagine as I inhale and pull the wave towards me, so at this point here, that my hands are dripping with water, maybe even running through the wet sand here. Playing with waves. We push the sea away. Again, that may be a beautiful metaphor for allowing ourselves to let go, particularly in winter, of anything that's not serving our nervous system, not allowing us to stay in a calm, relaxed, learning and growing state. We'll move into the next form here. We've played with the waves, now we become the wave. This is a lovely form I learnt in my initial training with Nicole Lee, and we slide down on the exhale looking forward, and then just like a wave we crash over in on ourselves and then inhale to rise up. As our hands move down the legs here, I'm not leaning on the body. I'm simply guiding the water of this wave towards the shore. And as I crash over, I really am letting go of everything here. It was the beautiful Buddhist philosopher and monk Thich Nhat Hanh that said, A wave is truly wise when it realizes it is only water. I think sometimes we can be wave-like in the way we move through the world, and perhaps that realization that we are water can help us to find rest, stillness, time to notice the tiny, quiet miracles in our lives. Of course, finding this Wu-Ji in between forms is very calming. I'm moving now into bear pushes away, and the bear form, whilst the bear, we might not associate the bear with winter quite so much in the southern hemisphere, the bear hibernates in winter and knows how to say no to all of the busyness and the activity, and actually takes his or herself off to rest and to do less and to cultivate an inner attention. And so we can do this too with bear form. I am moving around and exhaling as I push away behind me. The arms are almost held as if I have a tray on each arm, and the body is heavy. In Qi Gong, when we practice animal forms, we are not imitating the animal, rather we are embodying the spirit of the animal, the essence of the animal, the heaviness of the bear, the immovable determination of the bear. Returning now to the next form. This is the moon and the sea. I'm holding the moon here. The moon is very related to water, of course. The moon's gravitational pull creates tides and waves and currents. The moon is placed in the sky on the inhalation. I exhale down, however, I'm pushing away mountains here. And then I notice the reflection of the moon in the sea. So I take this up to be reunited with the moon in the sky. This beautiful form. There are lots of different ways to do this. I'm pushing away the mountains here. I notice the reflection and reunite the moon's reflection with the moon in the sky. As we're holding the moon here, we might take a moment to consider and embody the yin feminine energy of the moon. Quiet, cool, still. The moon in her cyclical nature does rest. She waxes and then she wanes and then she's completely gone until a new moon arrives to begin that cycle again. Pushing away mountains here, that's an exhalation, it's strong. Inhalation as I come back into Wu-Ji. Still have the moon here, and this is a beautiful flowing form where we're holding the moon, placing it in the sky. Holding the moon, gazing at the moon, placing it in the sky. terms of breathing, again with Qi Gong, you can work out your own breathing. Something that works for me is I'm exhaling as I swing across, and then as I place the moon in the sky, I inhale her beautiful, shining luminescence into my body. I'll place the moon in the sky one more time. And allow my hands to come down. Allow myself to become bamboo in the wind. Quiet, completely reliant on the vast bodies of energy that represent the earth and the sky. Standing tall and strong. Sometimes I am asked, for how long do I need to do a Qi Gong session? And even 5 minutes has been shown to calm the nervous system and to bring some renewed energy into the body. I do think it's important to try and do it very regularly. Here, as I close the Qi gates, I'm making these circles smaller and smaller until I'm really just at the heart here. And so I take a moment to feel my heartbeat. I have these incredible heartbeats that accompany us for the entire life journey. How often do we actually tune into them and feel them and perhaps feel a sense of gratitude? And then, as always, I love to finish with 3 bows. My hands are the sun and the moon, crescent moon. And the bows are for one another, for those I shared Qigong with, for all of the teachers in our lives. The moon and the water are both incredible teachers. And finally, for Mother Earth, the source of all well-being. Thank you for joining me today for this Heliotropia water Qi form. May we all be the water and flow effortlessly.